Hi, this is Nurse Tina and I am going to talk about evaluation of learning. All nurse educators need to know methods of evaluating learning, whether you are evaluating patient teaching. Evaluation methods should be based on learning objectives. Objectives might be evaluated by giving a test of some sort, behavioral evaluation or a graded assignment. The test blueprint. Type of test that involves good examination planning, chart that spells out the content and the level of knowledge to be tested and can be highly specific or rather general. The next I am going to talk about is multiple choice question, a type of test that is common in nursing examinations. They are easy and convenient to score, are less subjective and easy to be familiar. I searched in Google one example of multiple choice question and I found a good one, and it stated, which parameter is most important for a nurse to report when implementing postural drainage? A. Frequency of oral hygiene. B. Number of times the patient coughed. C. Amount of sputum expectorated. Or letter D. Change in respiratory depth. A multiple choice question has two parts, which is the question itself is called the stem and the possible answer or the options. The correct option is termed the answer key, and while the incorrect options are called the distractors. Next is the true and false questions, designed to test a learner's ability to identify the correctness of statements of fact or principle. They are limited to testing the lowest levels of knowing, knowledge and comprehension, and have limited usefulness in test for nursing students. One of the weakness of true or false is that learners has 50-50 chance of guessing the right answer. Matching questions. It tests knowledge, the lowest level of knowing useful in determining whether learners can recall memorized relationship between two things such as dates and events. It is easy to construct and to score, but because they test only recall, so you must use it sparingly. It is set up of two lists with premises usually on the left and responses on the right. Essay-type questions. It lent to testing the highest level of knowing, especially analysis, the synthesis, lastly evaluation. There are also short answer that are valuable measurement tool, but these are not used in nursing education because it is time consuming for it to answer, it is limiting the amount of knowledge, place limitations on the type of response requested, and lastly it also expresses the thesis in a clear way. Next is the scoring extended response essay. In this type of response essay it is quite challenging because there are two types of approaches. The first approach is the point method, where the instructor lists the elements that must appear in the answer and online spin to their elements. The second approach is the rubric method. This includes qualitation rating scales, and the most useful if the teacher is just as concerned about overall quality of the answer and writing style. Once again, this is Nurse Tina signing out.
Objective test items can be subjective to item analysis that provide item data about the worth of the item specifically, their level of difficulty and ability to discriminate between test takers who knows the materials and those who do not. Item difficulty is simple yet useful tool to look at how students answer the questions. The number that's returned gives us the proportion of students who answered it correctly. So if 28 out of 100 students answered the particular question correctly, the difficulty side should be 0.28.
Item discrimination. Item discrimination is an estimate of the usefulness of an item in differentiating between learners who did well on the whole test and those who performed poorly. Johnson's developed the UL index in 1951. The process for calculating item discrimination using this formula involves the ranking the test paper from the highest to lowest scores, and choosing the top 27% and the bottom 20%. The index ranges to -1.00 to +1.00. With the higher value, the better discrimination of the item. A negative index indicates that more people in the highest group got the question wrong than those in the lowest group. Items with a discrimination index of 0.40 and higher are generally considered to be good items, according to Gaverson and Orman 2015. The formula of discrimination index are RH minus RL over 1/2 of the N. This formula compares performance on each item with the person's overall performance on the test. A reasonably good discriminating item is one that has a correlation of 0.25 or greater. In this formula, higher the coefficient, the greater the number of high-performing test takers who answer the item correctly.